My name is Jenna Cross, and I'm the co-executive director, along with my husband Steve, of Alliance Women's Clinic in Racine and Kenosha. The team that God has brought together to work alongside of each other at Alliance, I'm just blown away by the people that God has brought. It's amazing to see everyone's heart for helping the vulnerable in our communities. We had a mom come in who was very abortion determined.
So much so that she is on the phone with Planned Parenthood in our clinic.
And the advocate was able to calm her down and say, well, you need an ultrasound anyway to get an abortion, so why don't you at least come and do that? And began the ultrasound, and as soon as I put the probe down on her stomach, I was able to see 2 gestational sacs.
And then her finding out she's actually having twins.
And she was in shock, like, what?
She had known God in her life, but had walked away from some things. And in that moment, as she found out, just crying out to God, right here in the clinic.
We can think, oh, there's no way God can reach that person, but He did. Like, she completely changed her mind.
I was able to kind of communicate with her what we have to offer. So talking about parenting classes and diapers and wipes, and she looked at me with tears in her eyes and she's like, where did all of this come from? And to be able to be in a position where I get to look at someone and say it's because people in the community love you and people in local churches care enough about you to donate these things and just offer their support. It's a foreign concept to so many of them, and I get to be in a position to share that the church is doing its job and that we're showing up and caring for them, and that's something that is so confusing to them. They don't get it, and then to be able to translate that into sharing the hope of the gospel and why we do the things that we do and why we show up and why we donate.
I think when I look at who Jesus is and I'm part of this ministry, I think about the woman who reaches for the robe of Jesus when she's bleeding, and she went to doctors and she just didn't have answers for anything, and she was so desperate for God that she reached out her hand to the robe of Jesus, and He had compassion on this woman. And I think what's impacted me the most is actually growing in my heart for the lost and knowing that Jesus had that same heart and that same compassion. He stopped what He was doing to actually heal this woman who was bleeding for 18 years, and He stopped and He looked at her and He says, I see you and I want you healed.
We would just love it if you'd pray for us as you think of us. There are just stories all the time that are so difficult, challenges that we're facing, emotions that can run high because of things that we're seeing and experiencing, and we need your prayers. We would love to have you, if you want to come in and pray for us, pray with us. There's opportunity for that as well, but we need your prayers and we value them. Thank you so much for all the ways that you support us.